Hello, my name is Gary Butler, the support team mentor at PKF Smith Cooper Systems. Today we're talking about eBanking plugins and how to install them. Now, if you've got a new PC or there's a new starter who needs to do electronic payments, we need to make sure that the plugin is installed for the option to do this. So what we can do is have a little look in our bank accounts first and foremost. When we go into amend account and into the banking tab, we can see in here the banking service isn't selected. Now, there's a few on my list here, but the one I'm looking for is an RBS plugin. So I can't see an RBS plugin here. So I know it's not installed. Another way of knowing it's not installed is by going to do the payment for the eBanking paid account. We click on the options to go through to pay it from our bank account, and it will pop up and say the electronic banking service used by the account does not support electronic payments. So there's two options really. We need to make sure we install the banking components if they're not already installed, and install the plugin. Now, obviously we've seen how to check to see if the plugin is installed, and we know it isn't. You may need your IT support to enter an administration password to actually install the plugin itself, because it needs admin rights to install, which is quite standard on most systems. If you're not an administrator on your PC, you need to speak to your IT to put a password in. So to install the components, we go to the tools at the top, installers, and install eBanking components. This is to make sure everything is set up correctly for eBanking. Now we can see here the message comes up and says it's already installed. This is fine. That means whoever set the system up for you has installed the components. Here we click on OK. If it needed installing, it will give you a message saying that it's installed. Next up, we're installing the eBanking plugin itself. So to install the plugin, we have to find it first. So firstly, close Sage. It's important Sage is closed before we do anything. We go to a browser and we type in sage.co.uk/eBanking. This page that pops up, when we scroll down, it literally mentions in here the area, so the UK and Republic of Ireland. So go to the relevant area. So we go to UK in this respect. And you can see in here all the plugins from Barclays to HBOS to Lloyds Bank to NatWest and RBS, the Royal Bank of Scotland, is what we're looking for here. Okay, so we click on download plugins to install the RBS NatWest Internet Bankline plugin. Once that's downloaded, we click on it. It pops up with the installation screen, which is just confirming that we're installing the RBS plugin. Click on next, and it confirms to install. And that whizzes through and it gives you an option to finish. Now, during that process is where it will prompt you for entering an admin password. We'll click on finish, come out of here and go back to Sage. So now we're in Sage, we go to cash book, bank account list, highlight our account and go to amend account, eBanking, and drop the list down. As you can see now, it's got the RBS NatWest Internet Bankline tab. You can see the options there to do either payments or payments reconciliations, which we can select. The options to make sure their file is being produced to a shared location. So at the moment it's set as default, which we'll leave it as it is for now. So we close out of here. We then try to do our payments. And as you can see there now, it now wants to save the file. So if we cancel that for the time being, we can go back to the bank. Back in the eBanking tab, we go back to the file locations in here. So you can see here the common directory is where any import and export files go to. So you may have a shared location which you can browse to. If you want to override the common directory with specific areas for any kind of reconciliation service or any form of different location for the payment file, you can override it by ticking the box here and changing the details below. The main point in this screen, other than the common directory, is the file identifier and the file extension. So if, for example, the actual file needs to be saved as a CSV file, we can type CSV in here. And if you want a file identifier in here, what you can see on the example is by default, it will use today's dates. But if you want to put it as RBS, you can see it will then change the start of the file to be RBS, and in this case, 25th of the 3rd, .csv. So that's installing the eBanking plugin, installing the eBanking components, and checking to make sure that it is installed correctly for you in selecting it. For any more support queries, please go through to our website, which is pkfscs.co.uk, and go to option for access our support service. Thank you.